Do you just want to start talking? Or like...
I don't know what he's doing. Is he watching a YouTube video
I don't
or
know.
something?
Double Doughty, episode 47.
Oh, we started already? Oh my god. Somebody
talking.
suggested I've been trying to sort of pawn off the thinking of a name for this on other people.
Nice.
So far, it has not worked out at all. I got Double D was the only. It's like
The Dough Bros. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. The Dough Bros.
You know, there's a lot of marketing, like merch potential there.
I'm telling you.
For the Dough Bros.
You just have like little snippets of like ridiculous things that I say on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have like, we need somebody to like animate like little characters of us.
Yeah.
Made out of dough.
The Dough Bros. All right. How long did that take us?
All right. Well,
just start talking about sports.
The Dough Bros.
The Dough Bros. Continue.
Episode 1. Ish.
1.7.
1.47. This is for December. That's why I have my Santa hat on.
I just need to start talking about sports because there's too many.
You want to talk about sports?
There's too many up there, and I want you to just.
Okay, all right. UGA against LSU, Mike. Who you got?
UGA versus LSU.
Yeah, this is a pretty.
Oh.
This is a tough one considering LSU just lost to Texas A&M and now has 3 losses, and UGA hasn't lost.
I feel like you're
almost 2 years.
I feel like you're leading me towards an answer. So I'm gonna say UGA.
Hey, all right. I think good pick.
Not because I'm a fan, but
SEC championship game. That's basically. I think Georgia might actually make the playoffs, even if it's a close game and they lose at this point, because everybody else has lost. But yeah, Georgia hadn't lost since COVID. It's basically so. I think it's probably a safe pick. And then end of the month we got a bunch of good bowl games. You don't do bowl games either, huh? I like bowl games because it's always like vacation time and it's just something to put on.
CFB, college football? Is that what you
Yes, college football. That's what CFB stands for.
Got it.
So we don't know who any of the bowl games are going to be yet, but
well, fantastic. Thanks for putting it up there.
I mean, they're still exciting.
Great info.
Except Georgia Tech's not going to be in one, so five whole wins this year, baby. Really kick some ass. Way to go, boys.
Too busy learning how to talk to girls, you know. Is that what they say?
We're going to piss off a lot of customers at this one. More football. The NFL's going strong. The NFC South continues to be led by a team that's under 500. Not the Falcons anymore.
Really?
Yeah, we lost to the Commanders in pretty spectacularly mediocre fashion on Sunday. So we're now 5-7. We being the Falcons. The Buccaneers are 5-6 in first place. Wow. And the Saints at 4-7 are knocking on the door. They're knocking on the door. They're
where are the Panthers at?
The Panthers have like 3 wins, I think. They're like one of the worst teams in the league. Okay. Actually, to be fair, all 4 of us are one of the worst teams.
I was going to say, we're all garbage.
Really bad.
We're all garbage together. That's what matters.
Yeah, this is like one of those years where like the people in charge of these things are going to be bitching about, changing the rules so that a team with a losing record doesn't take up a playoff spot for a good team, because they're kind of right. The NFC East has 4 pretty good teams. Actually, they have like 2 really good teams and 2 pretty good teams, and probably only 2 of them are going to make the playoffs. So, they would all be winning our division by a mile. Anyway, regular season ends like just after the new year. So, we've got about a month, maybe 5 weeks left of the NFL season before playoffs.
And put the money down on the Falcons.
Honestly, they're closer than I gave them any shot at being to a playoff spot, and mostly that's because everyone else in our division is trash. We're about where I expected we'd be, 5 wins.
I wonder how much money I would make though. If the Falcons were to manage to win it,
go
to a playoffs and then win it.
Yeah, you could Yeah, that's got to be long odds, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So
That'd be something.
and then the other kind of football, the World Cup is going on. Actually, the U.S. is playing Iran like right after we film this. So
Yeah.
I'm either going to be not caring about soccer anymore in the next like 2 hours, or I'll still be invested for at least another week or so.
And they have to win.
Have to win today. Win or go home. Gotta win.
All right.
So
It's
should
very
be exciting.
It's very American of them.
Yeah. Well,
Take a game where you can tie and
Yeah,
be like,
be
well,
like,
it doesn't
yeah,
matter
that
anymore.
won't
We have
work.
to win. Right?
yes. There's a lot of drama and politics and shit surrounding this game. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
we're not a politics pod, so we're not getting into that. Sports pod.
Yeah.
All right, that's sports. Is that fast enough for you?
That's pretty good. That was
All right.
good.
That's sports. Way to go, us!
Yay.
We got kind of a big month for video games.
Yeah,
which
buddy.
is kind of exciting. So, we started with one that I kind of missed last month for November. We didn't talk about Evil West.
I showed you the trailer for it.
I think so.
I did.
I think I got it really confused with Weird West.
Yeah.
This is a very different game.
Very different.
Yeah. But Evil West looks awesome. It's gotten really mixed reviews.
Yeah.
Because it's out already. It came out last week,
Yeah.
November 22nd. One of my favorite reviewers, though, he's Australian. Skill Up, loves it.
Yeah.
Strongly recommended, which is his highest rating. And the same rating he gave to, God of War. And, I mean, it just looks like silly, kind of old school, arcadey fun, and I'm all here for it.
It's kind of like the old school God of War games. It's like third person,
Yeah.
action adventure,
Yeah.
minor platform, minor puzzle solving, kind of over
But
the
mostly
top
just
punching. Yeah.
beat up a bunch of. And the
Beat 'em
combat
up.
looks cool,
Yeah.
and the particle effects look really cool, and it's cowboys beating up vampires.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently it just runs really well. So
Yeah, it runs very smoothly. Although I did see that it's locked to, I think, 1080p 60 frames a second because they could not get it to run at 4K at 60 frames on consoles.
but on PC.
But on PC it runs
Yeah.
super smooth, which is amazing. But I guess it got a lot of flack for just not being very inventive in any way.
It doesn't push the envelope at all. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm totally fine with
yeah,
that.
games like that, they're
No microtransactions, no battle passes, no online.
right, just straight up.
Just fun, beat the crap out of vampires
Yeah.
as a cowboy. Evil West. Check it out. That's on everything basically.
Yeah.
On the PlayStations, the Xboxes.
The Switches?
No, I don't think it's on Switch.
Who knows?
All right, into December. A couple games come out Friday,
I'm pretty excited.
right before the SEC championship.
Both
game
of these
that
games.
Mike's going to be watching.
Yeah, no, I'm really invested in the SEC championship game.
Both of these games you're super excited about?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll talk about Callisto Protocol.
Yes.
It's Dead Space. It's not Dead Space.
Yes.
So if you liked Dead Space, or if you like horror games, sort of horror action games, I guess.
Yeah.
Sort of, right?
Third person. Yeah.
Third person action, but really very moody and scary kind of.
Visceral even.
Yeah. Callisto Protocol. It's by the people that made the original Dead Space.
Correct.
And then the other game is very interesting to me. I've seen kind of mixed things about it on some previews, but I'm excited to play it. Marvel's Midnight Suns, which is developed by Firaxis Games, which makes Civilization.
XCOM.
And XCOM is the closest sort of comparison to this game, even though it's not really.
This one's based off of cards. It's
Yeah,
it's
so
a
if you watched any
strategy
of they had
card.
some deep previews that came
No.
out last week. It's definitely worth a watch. Skill Up
Okay.
did one that was really good. And so the way that, so what happens is for anybody that didn't play XCOM, it's a futuristic military turn-based tactical game basically. Very a lot of cover, and so you have a team of Marines essentially. You're fighting aliens, and there's a lot of taking cover and increasing your percentages to hit, and there's stuff like permadeath for your characters and stuff. So it's a lot of resource management, and then there's also base building sort of in between the combat.
And RPG elements.
Yeah, it gets so really like XCOM. It gets like it's intense and gets very hectic like towards the middle game, where it's like you really don't have time to do everything, so it can get very difficult. But so Midnight Suns is the same developer, and it's all Marvel characters. So it's a new story. Like the protagonist is called the Hunter, and it's a character completely made up for this game.
That's who you play as.
That's who you play as, sort of. You basically play as like teams of 3 superheroes, but you like work with all these different Avengers and like even like mutants and other kind of really small Marvel heroes in some cases. But they all apparently like play very differently. A lot of different sort of play styles in the combat. But there's no cover. There's no movement really. So the way that they talked about it is like superheroes don't miss, right? So like they had to find some other way to like make it tactical than like you need to flank these guys to increase your hit percentage and all that, because it's like Captain Marvel's just gonna always hit.
Right.
Like so.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
So there's no movement penalties at all. You can only move 1 hero per turn, right? So to like maneuver yourself around the battlefield, but you can literally move anywhere you want in that 1 turn. And the way that they introduce the randomness is the cards. So basically you have like a deck of cards, and those are your moves.
Right.
For each of the superheroes.
Right.
And so it may be just like a flying knee, or it could be like a crazy blast or something like that, or like homing missiles from Iron Man, or
Right.
So like it could be super powerful, and like you could have a fight that starts and it's like you have all your like super best moves available and it's over in like a second, or not, because you keep drawing cards as you use them. But the combat looks very cool as long as you can get into that type of randomness, because it is very different than XCOM from what I've seen. So at least a couple of the reviews I read weren't in love with that part of it, and that it's like half the game. Like they had played like 10 hours.
What do you get from the social aspect?
So that's how you unlock like new powers and like increase your relationship with different, like there are combos you can do in combat with the different heroes, and so like interacting with them socially in between the combat missions will unlock new stuff because you have to progress. Like it basically said like if you try to skip the like social, like there's a flow. You know how in XCOM it was like you have combat, and then you'd have like, okay, we're gonna go like check out this resource, collect this resource, and then maybe build this facility and
speed up time.
Like research this thing and all that. So they have a similar sort of like flow of that, but you can also like just go explore the grounds of this like base area.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see. The other complaint that I saw a couple of people had was like that the writing and the voice acting for the social parts just didn't hit the mark very well. Like they kind of missed the personality of some of the heroes and stuff like that. Okay. But that I mean, to be totally honest, I would buy it purely for the combat anyway. So.
Yeah, I'll buy it just.
Well, good. You buy it on Xbox so I can play
it. On Xbox? I'll never get to play it.
Oh, yeah. And then December 13th, I'm excited for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
It's a remake of a PSP game.
Yes. Remake for a PSP game, which I never played.
Yeah, me neither.
And Final Fantasy VII is among, if not my favorite game of all time. Yeah. And so this is a pretty big sort of expansion of that story. It's a prequel to the events of the original Final Fantasy VII. And this is getting a full like remake treatment, basically. Like it looks like the new Final Fantasy VII remake games. Yeah. Like graphically, all kinds of stuff. And I think the combat was very similar anyway. Like it was a lot more of an action game than like a turn-based RPG. So that comes out December 13th on everything, Switch included on that
Yeah, literally everything.
So I never played it when it. I mean, it's what
It's old.
10. I mean,
It's
10
old.
plus.
The
years
first
old,
one
right?
came out a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I think
So
it was when I was like 2006, maybe 2007,
okay, yeah,
something like that.
that's kind of what I was thinking. 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to play that because I never had a. I had a PSP, but for some reason I never really played that game. I didn't play much on PSP.
Didn't really. Yeah. I don't know.
I
Handheld.
played like a baseball game. That was it.
I think I tried to play Assassin's Creed Liberation
On PSP.
on PSP, and I was like, this is not worth it.
Also on December 13th, there's an Xbox Studios game coming out called High on Life. Have you seen anything with this?
I have not heard.
Nothing?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so they have a game preview out. It's going to be on Game Pass, so you'll be able to play it if you want. It's a game. I believe the game studio is either owned or the game is written by the guy who created Rick and Morty, I think.
Okay.
But like very like that type of humor essentially.
Okay.
And so the guns are like, it's a first-person shooter. It's very cartoony, very colorful looking. And I don't know anything about the gameplay or anything. I haven't looked at it, but it's supposed to be very funny. And all of the guns have personalities. They're like alive and they have faces on them. And they look like sort of aliens, kind of. Like they don't really look like guns. They look like a kid's like squirt toy with a face on the back, like looking at you all the time, and they like talk to you the whole time. And stuff like that. It looks really goofy.
Some trippy right there.
Yeah,
man.
it looks very goofy.
All right. That sounds like a bad acid trip.
Yeah.
Trying to
that's
play
why
with
it's
a
called
wire
High
gun,
on
just
Life.
be like, what the shit?
That's why it's called High on Life. I don't know. They had some legendary guns in Borderlands that would talk to you that were super annoying.
Yeah, they were.
Like there was one that would like scream every time you reloaded
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. That was so goofy.
Wasn't the one that moaned every time you did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like basically unusable because they went like way over the top with some of them.
I mean, they were funny, but yeah, you use them for 5 seconds, and you're like, I can't.
do this anymore.
No.
But High on Life, I mean, the fact that it's going to be on Game Pass, I'm going to download it and play it, and we'll see. And then December 14th, I'll have probably a fourth reason to start playing The Witcher 3. I have played it, but I've never even gotten close to beating it.
Really?
Yeah.
I played it for a really long time.
So the last time I played it, I got much farther than I ever had before. But like, still, I think all I did was like got to the point where it was basically open world. Killed the griffin.
Oh yeah,
That's like the tutorial.
That's the tutorial. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like got out and met the Bloody Baron or
Yeah.
somebody, and then something else came.
Wow. No. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So, I actually panicked last night a little bit because I bought The Witcher 3 it's the last game I bought on a disc because they had it at GameStop used for like $8 or something, and it wasn't on sale digitally because people still pay full price for that game because it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought it, but it was a disc, and then I found the case because I moved. I found the case and the disc isn't in it, so it's like I'm gonna have to buy this game again. Because you don't own it on Xbox, I don't think.
No, I have it on PlayStation. Yeah.
But I found out that I left the disc in my old Xbox, which I gave to one of my friends. So the disc has been recovered.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'll be able to download the... So, anyway, The Witcher 3, why we're talking about The Witcher 3 right now.
Yeah, we didn't even...
Years later, didn't even mention this brand new game coming out. No, there's a free... current gen or next gen update.
Mm-hmm.
So PS5 and Xbox Series X update coming out. So it's gonna supposedly will look much nicer, run much smoother.
They add some stuff.
They added
tweaked a few things, but still, I mean, that game looks fantastic even on older consoles and ran fine. So I can only imagine.
Yeah, I bet it's just gonna look amazing. So
and it's free.
Yeah, free update. So no, well, if you own the game.
Still.
Yeah.
Most people should.
Yeah. If you don't, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What do you have kids and a job or something? You don't have time for a 200-hour
Lame.
RPG?
Lame. Your kids are lame. They're not. They're fine.
Anyway, that's video games. I feel like that's the most video games we've talked about in a long time. It's like, and by the way, God of War is spectacular. In case I didn't say that,
I think
we did record that.
I think prefaced it and you said
I already knew it was going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's better than I thought.
Oh wow,
it's incredible. That's all I've been playing. What have you been playing?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we're talking about all these new games, but you haven't played any new games in a while.
No, I've been I'm farther into Cyberpunk than I've ever been right now.
Okay.
That's
like pretty far?
I think
don't know.
so.
Who knows, right?
Yeah, who knows?
That's a long story too.
Yeah, long and deep into it for me, at least.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very hard. Like I had to go to the map and I have to use filters to take stuff off so I don't get sidetracked. And
Horizon would be that way for you.
Yeah, that seems to be the ticket for sure.
What about Valhalla? Playing God of War makes me want to play Valhalla just because I'm like, I want more Norse mythology stuff because of how well they do it.
I wish I could tell you why I can't seem to finish that game. It's just something about it.
It's like by far the best selling.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed ever.
Yeah.
Like by a long way.
It's like, I mean, I've played it for over 100 hours, and I don't think I'm even halfway. And it just wears on you. And I did like one of the DLCs, and that took way too long. And
is the story interesting at least when you do the story mission, or it's not
kind of
dragging you forward?
No, it seems very discombobulated. Like you're doing like everything is like very like disconnected. Like, oh, you're gonna do this here, and then you're gonna go do this here and do this here, and then I think eventually they all kind of like tie together. But it's like,
right? There's nothing like pulling you forward.
No, it's not like you're like going from plot point to plot point with like an overarching like reason to be there. It's like
I kind of lost like my joy for Assassin's Creed like after they like really changed up the formula a lot. Like the combat's very different than it used to be. Like I tried one of the newer ones. I tried Origins, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was either Origins or
Odyssey.
And I just like the combat was not as much. I don't know, the first few like through Ezio, right? Like the combat always sort of felt like almost like a dance kind of, right? It felt like a rhythm game more than like an action game.
Mm-hmm.
And like enemies felt dangerous and stuff, and like with how much RPG stuff they've like shoved into it, it feels like really bloated to me.
That's all it is, and I think Ubisoft knows that because they're changing the formula again to try to incorporate the good parts of
right, because there's stuff that they added that's cool.
Oh yeah, like they have this whole thing like where you have different cult members you have to kill, and like you kill one and then you get a clue as to like who the next one is,
right,
and stuff like that. And it's just like a huge like tree of conspiracy people that you have to kill, and that seems to be a very popular like game mechanic now because
they have it in every one.
Well, they didn't have it in Origins, but then they put it in Odyssey, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, yeah!" And so now it's like,
gotcha.
Odyssey DLC, Valhalla has it, and it's just
What's the next one? Is the next one Samurai?
Mirage.
Not Samurai.
No, it's 8th century Babylon, or sorry, not Babylon, Baghdad.
Oh, interesting.
You're playing as a character from Valhalla.
Oh, wow, okay. Are they still doing a lot of the like modern time or like near future stuff at all, or
there is still a modern time element?
Animus, kind of pretty much constantly.
Yeah, you like the modern day character. Her name is Layla Hassan from Origins, like ancient Egypt to ancient Greece to Valhalla, but is in like the first, like when it first came out, they're like, oh, you can't be in the Animus for too long because you'll have the bleeding effect and you might like lose your mind and blah blah blah. Apparently they fixed that. Layla can be in the Animus for literally days, and like her doctor has to be there. No, absolutely nothing happens. She wakes up and her doctor's like, you need to drink some water, and she's like, I'm fine. That's it. And
that was the part that like really sucked me into the first and second one.
Yeah,
was like finding like the Desmond Miles sort of storyline was like that was the reason to keep going back in, right? It was like, let me advance this a little bit farther.
So
Yeah, I cared more about that storyline than like Ezio. Even.
That's why everyone knows that they really messed it up when they killed Desmond in Assassin's Creed 3 and continued.
Spoiler alert.
Well, yeah, this game.
It's a really old game.
Yeah. But then there's like they had this model where they came out with one every single year because like they were making so much money off of it, but they had this built-in like this idea for what the story was going to be about Desmond Mild in the current times and becoming an assassin in current times and like going to places and being an assassin and stuff like that, and they just axed that shit in the stupidest possible way and then like made some kind of like just some kind of like meta
Black
thing.
Flag was the first one where it like really changed the formula.
Right? It was right after
3
they killed him. 3 was it was American Revolution. 4 was Pirates, but then like the modern day parts of it, it was like first person, and you worked for Abstergo, which is the bad guy, like the bad company of the entire game, which is like a weird meta version of Ubisoft, and they know it, and they like kind of rub it in your face. They're like, ha ha ha, this is Ubisoft, and it's like, yeah, we're actually doing this. You're doing this shit right now. Like everything that they're talking about, like you're doing that right now. You're like, what the f-? And then like they try to like tie it into other games. Like there's parts where like a bad guy from the modern times of Assassin's Creed gets killed like off screen in Watch Dogs, which is another game that Ubisoft made.
Right,
yeah, it's like you're doing too much, guys. It's too much. But I don't even know what we were talking about. We started talking about.
Well, I asked you about what you were playing.
Well, yeah,
because I knew you were playing Valhalla at some point this month.
Well, you really f***ed up the flow of this whole thing.
No, that was good. Anyway, December 2nd. It's a big day, man. A couple video games. This movie, Violent Night.
Never heard of it.
You haven't heard of it? Mm-mm. This one? Okay. It's David Harbour plays Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. And I guess he's like delivering presents at this like very wealthy family's compound when it gets like attacked by terrorists. And so he has to murder everyone. Oh, like it's incredibly violent.
I'm there.
And it's like, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
The trailer had it described as Die Hard meets Home Alone.
Okay. Cool.
All of the like really glowing clips that they use on the trailers are from like comicbook.com and like all these sort of like nerdy sites too. So I have like
David Harbour
that I think it's gonna be bad, but like it has a chance to be really good.
David Harbour has enough charm to
carry it. I mean, he can carry a like violent Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But he like legit is Santa Claus. He's like murdering people.
That's fine.
So it looks very violent.
I appreciate the thinking outside the box.
I'm super down for Christmas stuff too. If you can too, let people enjoy things. Christmas is awesome. And then December 9th, there's a very different movie coming out because there's several movies coming out that are like they got to get it out by the end of the year to be eligible for awards. Mm-hmm. Right? So The Whale, it comes out December 9th. It's
Brendan Fraser, baby.
Brendan Fraser's triumphant return after being blackballed from Hollywood. If you don't know that story, go look that up. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. He got done dirty.
Very sad.
Got done dirty.
Yeah. But he's like a 400-pound guy or something. Even more? Like 600-pound guy?
Yeah.
He's like 600 pounds, and he's like trying to reconnect with his daughter or something.
It's directed by Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah.
Which, if you've seen any of his other stuff, you know it's going to be visceral. You know it's going to be really unsettling, like certain aspects of it. It's going to be very emotional, I'm sure. Yeah, I think
apparently he's like shoo-in for Best Actor.
That's what they said.
So we'll see. I'm going to go see it, probably, because Brendan Fraser's awesome. And I just want to support that dude.
Yeah.
Like, he deserves it, for real. December 16th, the sequel to the highest grossing movie of all time, Avatar, The Way of the Water, comes out December 16th.
They're already advertising, say, see it in 3D. I'm like, what was this, 2009 again?
I'm actually going to go see it in 3D.
I'm going to go see it in 3D, too, because I remember seeing the original one in 3D and being like...
We still show Avatar here from time to time. It's still one of the best-looking movies you can put on.
But in 3D, it's James Cameron.
Yeah.
he actually pays attention to that shit, and he puts so much work into making the 3D like work well.
Yeah.
And he films it with the right cameras and does like the amount of work he puts into it. So
yeah, how old is Avatar? 15 years?
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah. And it still holds up.
Yeah.
And this one, like
crazy.
This one, it seems like,
it's 3 hours and 20 minutes long.
Yeah. But no, it seems like from the actual visual aspect of it, doesn't seem like a huge step forward. Like there might be certain parts where you're like, oh, okay, this seems like really realistic.
But it looks the same almost.
Almost the same, right?
Yeah.
But he said the biggest thing was the fact that they had underwater motion capture this time.
Oh, gotcha.
So that was a big step forward in the motion capture thing. And then a lot of the kids that like play the characters that did the motion capture, they had to go through like 6 months of training to learn they could hold their breath underwater for like 4 to 6 minutes or something, so they could film these scenes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I heard it has to make like it costs like $200 billion or $200 million.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they said it has to make $600 million to make a profit.
That's fine. I mean, this is also the cynical side of me. It's like this is all just press for
Yeah.
It's all just made up press or like just part of.
Didn't they announce at some point there were like 4 sequels?
Yeah. But this is all just to build up
in between each one.
Build up all this pressure before it releases, so people will go see it because they're like, oh, I gotta go see this $200 million movie.
It is releasing at the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, a week before Christmas, it's gonna go crazy. I would expect, like, as long as it's not trash.
I heard there's a lot more focus on.
I don't know how people
emotion
are gonna get kids to sit still for almost 3.5 hours.
Just keep, maybe James Cameron knows the secret. Or this
a really long movie.
This might not be.
This
is for us.
I'm gonna wear a catheter, like one of those like bags strapped to my leg.
No, this is for
us, right?
Millennials,
I guess, right?
Yeah.
I hope. I don't know. We're aging out of the like big marketing demographic.
Yeah.
So stuff won't be made for us for much longer.
Well, that'll be sad, actually.
And then, have you heard anything about Babylon? Comes out December 23rd.
No.
Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Tobey Maguire, several other people, like 1920s, like Hollywood golden era kind of stuff.
Okay.
The only thing I've read so far is that like early reactions are people either like loved it or think that it's a hot mess of like a hot pile of garbage.
Oh, that's good.
Like that it's divisive. Just a hot mess. Yeah, very divisive.
What's it about though?
It's just I don't know about Hollywood in the 20s.
I'm pretty sure there's a German show on Netflix called Babylon that was set in the 20s.
Oh, interesting. It's a big like award show or award season push kind of movie too, and I think it's also 3 hours long.
I mean, wasn't the most recent Batman 3 hours long?
Yeah. That's only because he couldn't walk very fast. At all.
It's because he was wet. He was wearing a rubber suit, and it was just sopping wet.
Just moving slowly.
Yeah.
So Babylon, I don't know a lot about it, but it's getting a lot of sort of hype, and the trailer looks really chaotic. Like I could see why it would be called a hot mess, just from the trailer alone. It's very, like I was like, what the hell is this movie about? But like, look at the people in it. So
okay,
I'll go see it.
Just skip to the bottom. Let's just wrap it up. I feel like we've talked.
No,
we don't care about that.
Well, okay, but you're right.
We don't care about
Yellowstone-ish. Although Yellowstone apparently is taking over Paramount. That's all that people watch on Paramount.
That's not true. I watch Ink Master.
This is the second spin-off series already.
Yeah.
From Yellowstone. It's a prequel to Yellowstone, but a sequel to the first spin-off prequel.
Yeah.
And this one is Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
It's high class.
Right?
The guy who created Yellowstone, he was an actor on...
This is the most convincing piece of evidence for me to watch Yellowstone yet. The fact that Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren...
You don't like Kevin Costner?
...are involved. I do, but in baseball movies...
That's true. There's enough of those. But no, the guy who created Yellowstone was an actor on Sons of Anarchy.
Who was he? It's not Charlie Hunnam.
No. His name is Sheridan. Taylor Sheridan, something like that. But he was on there for a short time, and I think he left over like some kind of like payment dispute or something like that. And then he started fucking writing movies. He wrote Hell or High Water with Chris Pine and Ben Foster. He wrote he's written so many like things that have won awards, and then he came out with this show.
Just killing it.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go, guy. Amazon Prime. Jack Ryan season 3, December 22nd or 21st. Yeah.
I couldn't even get through the first season.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But I don't think I gave it.
Krasinski's a little bit of a weird casting choice for Jack Ryan.
I think it's right. I mean,
I think it was actually better than, because didn't Tom Cruise play him in the movies, or is that not Jack Ryan?
No, they're all Jack Ryan.
I know.
Harrison Ford played him.
Right. Okay.
Chris Pine played him in one.
Yeah. Okay. Harrison or Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise did not. No, you're thinking of Jack Reacher.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Jack Reacher. And that's the one that didn't make sense, because Jack Reacher is supposed to be like this giant, like
6'3", like
Marine.
Yeah, just f***ing huge, right? And then you get
tiny little.
You get this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You get
so Jack Ryan is actually like, he's like an analyst for the CIA.
Right. And he kind of gets thrown into situations where
he has to be an action guy, kind of.
Ben Affleck.
I watched it. It's good. It's good, but I could see why it wouldn't suck you in, though.
It's well done. I mean, I gotta really pay attention to it. Same thing with the one with Ben Affleck. Like, I barely paid attention to that one until the nuke went off. I'm like, oh, this shit got interesting. And it was like,
it was crazy. And then, this is probably probably the movie I'm most excited about, and it's on Netflix. It's actually in movie theaters like for a week because it's like award show worthy.
Yeah.
And so it's actually in, like, they have to run it for at least a week.
Right.
As a wide release.
Right.
But we're talking about Glass Onion, which is Knives Out sequel. So it's
Daniel Craig.
Benoit something.
Right.
Something.
Daniel Craig.
Southern Daniel Craig.
Yes.
Like hella southern.
Written and directed by Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Who wrote and directed
one of the Star Wars movies.
It was the 8th Star Wars movie.
Anyway, it's Glass Onion. It's got amazing reviews.
So did Knives Out.
I know. Yeah. Great reviews already. Everybody I know that's already seen it, like, loved it. It's got another like great cast too. It's got Edward Norton's in it. I'm forgetting a bunch of people. I didn't put them up there, but obviously Daniel Craig is the main dude. It's like I'm so down. And it's going to be on Netflix on December 23rd. So if you don't want to see it in theaters.
Nice to watch over the Christmas holiday.
Yeah. And then the one thing that I swear I put on here, but it's not on here, it's The Witcher something. I can't remember what the subtitle is.
Super helpful for people watching.
I'm going to look it up.
For the 12 people that are watching.
It's for the 12 people that are watching. So it's The Witcher. It's a sequel. Or no, it's a prequel. Blood Origin. That's what it's called.
Okay.
The Witcher Blood Origin.
And it's on...
It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
On Christmas.
Who started
and it's only 4...
Is that an outcast in the elf world unite in a quest against an also?
So it's 1,000 years before
The Witcher.
Geralt.
Okay.
And it's like the origin of the Witchers. I guess.
That'd be cool.
And Michelle Yeoh is in it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh.
Who's in?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Which is?
The best movie of all time.
There you go. Yeah.
She's also in...
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yes, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And a lot of other amazing kung fu movies.
Yeah.
She's incredible. And yeah, The Witcher... So this is like a 4-episode miniseries about the origin of the Witchers.
Which will be fascinating. I mean,
it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 years, right? So, kind of like that. And that's all I got. I think. For December.
I think that was a lot. We talked about
a lot, right?
We have a lot.
Well, when we come back from
we can't do it.
To say bye.
Yeah. Been here too long. Bye.
That was one of the longer ones. Must have been.